You're watching New Orleans Saints Now by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, and once again we have a trade rumor, or at least a trade idea to discuss. And this one, well, let's just call it interesting. From FanSided, they said the Saints should trade for Brandin Cooks, proving that time is a flat circle if this deal were to actually go down. Now, there was no trade compensation included in this proposal, which I always find a little bit cowardish, but hey, we've seen Brandin Cooks trades happen before. Kind of crazy how often Cooks ends up getting dealt. The Texans, I think, appear likely to rebuild this year. They did just restructure his deal. They'd only see about $2.36 million, so I think that lessens the trade potential there. But receiver is a weak point for New Orleans. Before we get more in-depth on the Saints' current side, let's play history. Let's go through the trades that have happened for Brandin Cooks over the year. Back to 2017, right? The Saints get a first-round pick and a third-round pick in exchange for Brandin Cooks. Those picks become Ryan Ramczyk and Trey Hendrickson. Great deals, by the way, for those moves there. A first and a third that became those two players. The Patriots then flip Brandin Cooks a year later. They get Isaiah Wynn and a sixth-round pick that they then later dealt for no one of major significance. Then the Rams in 2020, they ship out Brandin Cooks to his current team, the Houston Texans, in exchange for a second-round pick that became wide receiver Van Jefferson. The Cooks trades have calmed down since then, yet always seemingly linked. That despite some legitimate concussion concerns around Cooks, but he's always been a good football player. He's always someone you can count on for going for 1,000 yards in a given season. And I think that would be the expectation in New Orleans, even with the presence of Michael Thomas still on the roster. Now, money, always a little bit tricky, but the Saints could find a way to make it work, especially if they are in a position where they're trying to find more help at the wide receiver spot, because guess what? The Saints do still need help at that position. Yes, there's Michael Thomas. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Tre'Quan Smith, I want to believe this is going to be the breakout year for him, but that's a bit of a question mark. And maybe you feel better about Smith if he's your wide receiver 3, because your other options, Deontay Harris, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Marquez Callaway, I don't have great faith in them, to be honest. Now, if you're fully convinced this is the breakout year for Tre'Quan Smith, then maybe you don't go get Cooks, because you're going to want to pay Smith in the not-too-distant future. With all that in mind, let me know in the comments if you want the Saints to bring back Brandin Cooks. Type D for deal, or you can type in N for no deal. Get your votes in right now. I did want to spend a little bit of time here on the Texans side. If they're trying to win games, they have to keep Brandin Cooks, because this wide receiver room, although weird, does have some talent. Randall Cobb's a good slot receiver. Maybe Kiki Cutie can make an impact at long last. Nico Collins might be your outside vertical threat. You've got a bunch of guys fighting for back end of the roster spots. Chris Conley, Isaiah Coulter, Dante Moncrief, Andre Roberts, Alex Harrison, Twan Taylor, and Chris Moore have all spent time on NFL teams. It's super deep in terms of depth guys. But if you move Brandin Cooks in your Houston, you better get a good piece back, because your receiver room all of a sudden, not that good.